What if today we learned how to make chicken? Well, actually, chicken's not something we can really make. We can just wait till it grows up, and becomes a chicken from the egg, and then we can kill it and pluck it and chop it up and make it into all kinds of wonderful things. And today I think we will practice on Vindaloo. I have some ingredients that are necessary for Vindaloo. They're simple ingredients, in fact, chicken and some potatoes and of course a sauce. But before we get there, let me introduce myself. I am still Jesse, and you're watching what I'm doing today. Here we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into it. It looks to me like we've got some chicken we want to cut up, so I'm gonna use this spiffy knife. There's a spiffy knife for y'all to use. Some people like Cutco knives. That's the one that one is. It does cut. What I wanted to say is, I wish it was as sharp as the day I got it. All right, here's some cool stuff. Sorry, I forgot a bowl. My goal is to cube this up after I wash my hands. And then I'm going to show you something amazing. It's going to be like we're going to cut this up, put it in the pan, fry it up, add a few minor ingredients like ginger and maybe some bay leaves if I feel like it and or remember. And then we're going to include these baby fingerling potatoes and a sauce, and then we're just going to let it simmer. There's nothing special other than just doing it. So here we go. I'm going to take the chicken. This was the boneless, skinless chicken breast. We got it. There's no skins and theoretically no bones. And most of the time the fat isn't really there. So I'm chopping it up into stuff about that size. And then I'm going to throw it into a bowl. I'm trying not to cut myself. And the way I do that is I just grab the chicken like this and I fold over and I cut like that. My hands. It's an old technique I learned. I don't know what your technique is, but I still have all my fingers, so you can use whatever technique you want. Anyways, after you chop up the chicken, seasoning is an important thing. And one thing I've learned is like not older, the further I get in life, the more I appreciate a more basic like seasoning. I found that like if you like to season things up, that's cool. But for people that don't like seasoning, it's going to be over seasoned. So in order to avoid that, is you can under season it, and then when people say it could use more salt or stuff like that, it's stuff that they could totally add, and that's their opinion, and their opinions are like belly buttons. Everyone's got one, and some of them are fuzzy. So do with that as you will. In my humble opinion, salt and pepper. I've got a buddy that Lebanese and throws cinnamon in a lot of stuff, and it's amazing. A little mint. I may throw some cinnamon in today. I may throw some cinnamon in today. All right. I'm feeling a little different than I did when we started this. Anyways, now that I've chopped this up, what I'm going to do is I am going to season it and heat up the stove. Now I'm kind of fast pacing this for y'all because I can do that. And by fast pacing it, I mean I chopped up the potatoes already and I put them in the boiling water and I boil them until I can put a fork in them and pull them out-ish, and that signifies that they're about done. Cool. Now I used to use this stuff a lot. Where are we? I used to use this stuff a lot. It's cool. But I found that this, with, what's my other favorite one? You got to be careful with it, but that one's good too. And then today, I think we'll use, I don't know, olive oil. Let's see what we do. Let's just do something simple. So I'm going to, and then I will get a utensil. Most of the time, my dad would put it in his hand so you can see what you're doing, and that's cool. It's funny, I just tell you about undersalting and oversalting things, and then I just arbitrarily throw salt in there. But really to each his own. We were using pepper a couple of weeks ago on some shrimp, and I put, like, I wouldn't say too much because too much is subjective, but I put enough black sugar that they were wondering if I'd actually added like a spice to it. It was spicy. Yeah, I don't know. Moving on, got the good stuff, cinnamon. I don't know why it's good, other than it's probably healthy in some manner. I overdid that and got it all over the place, so I will mix it in. And for kicks and giggles, we'll throw that in. All right, so now for the fun spot, we got like this whole shindig over here happening. I'm going to dial it in for you. The greaser. You may or may not want to use one of these. There's also the concern as I flip this, the oil will catch fire and you can have a grease fire, an oil fire. Things like that happen, so, you know, whatever. Gotta be wary of that. Anyways, the salsa we got today, I found this in the store, and it's called Vindaloo. And on the back are ingredients, and if you can read those, you're awesome. If not, I'll read them to you. It's sugar, honey, iced tea. Waters and onion, tomato paste, coconut cream, some spices including turmeric, rice vinegar, ginger, sea salt, garlic, green chili, and some other stuff that's probably going to kill us. Anyways, I like to add coconut to dishes every now and then, but I like to add coconut to Thai and Indian dishes, but since this already has a coconut element to it, I am just going to throw that in. What's the fun part? So we're back over yonder. Now my goal is to get these kind of browned on the outside and cooked, but I'm going to simmer them for, I don't know, I'm going to simmer it for like probably 20, 30 minutes before I actually feel like eating it. And then sometimes when I don't put the potatoes in here, I'll do it with rice, but since we already have a starch element with the potatoes, I'm not going to throw it in because, you know, I'm trying not to put any more starch on because at this point it's like, it's the fall season and like biologically I probably should be hibernating soon, but we'll get to that later. Anyways, as for now, I transition back for a minute and talk a bit about these fledglings that I got. These fledglings are out of control. I call it, or fingerlings, fledglings. They're like baby potatoes to me, or juvenile potatoes. In fact, I was like, they're just trying to upsell them as like petite potatoes. But I talked to my buddy. He's like, why do you want big fat potatoes, man? When, you know, it's the skin. And so I got 5 of these and I got 5 of those. And I chopped them in half and they weren't this small. They were like bigger than that. But that's what happens. So once you chop those things up and boil them, you're going to get something that looks a little like closer to this. And so, and I've got to like do the whole straining of the water, which isn't all that difficult. You just kind of strain the water. If you have a strainer, that's great. Sometimes you can just hold it back. Hold yourself back. And let's see how the chicken's doing. It seems like the longest thing with food is like the prep of chopping stuff up. So if you're a really proficient chopper, it'll work a lot faster for you than it will for other people that don't have all their fingers and don't have proper chopping techniques. Anyways, back to the ginger, which I almost failed to throw in, even though it seems to be in everything. I'm going to add a little bit of it in here since I still got some direct access with flavoring the meat itself. Boom. And then I fry it up. Dude, my buddy Jojo, he's constantly posting stuff on Facebook about these meals he's cooking, and it's like, it's cool and all, but dude, Joe, how are you doing that, bro? Like, I'll be honest with you, I probably wouldn't eat the stuff that you make because it looks delicious, but I will sit around and watch you make it. So that's half the reason I'm doing this video, man. It's not for you. Wait. It's all for you, man. Anyways, It's all for you. Not you specifically, JoJo, but whoever's out there and you're watching this, thank you for your time. And thank you. Back to the Vindaloo. This stuff, industrial wrapped. One of my favorite moments in the Vindaloo, and we got the sausage, is the put away. I had a friend that was talking about like when you clean things up as you cook, that when it's all said and done, like the kitchen's cleaned up and you're done cooking. So really, it's just like a small amount of plates that you use to cook with and eat off of is dirty. It's great practice. I mean, you can practice whatever you want. Doctors go to school for 8 years and then practice on you, so you can practice cooking or whatever you want to practice. That's how I practice, you know, whatever the heck we were just talking about. All right. Next time, if we get some coconut milk, I'm going to make one of these, but that's for a whole other show. This is this red curry. No, that's not what I'm going to make. I'll make something. I'm going to keep making these sauces until you guys complain about how I don't know how to make stuff, and then I'll really make stuff. All right, back to the chicken. Nice. So there's brown. I didn't necessarily want it brown, but I got caught up chatting it with some of my friends, so that's what we got right now. I'm going to turn this down because my goal is to get this to a simmer soon. And simmering is like a slow oil and or boil. All right, so you got the leftover stuff, right, man? Check this out. It's almost like rocket surgery. So you can get some water and you can put it in here. And if you have one of these things, it's like a spatula, you can totally like kind of work it in. And if you don't, it doesn't matter. So that's that. Anyways, now that I've got it all in there like this and I'm trying to collect stuff, I added a little bit of water in with my sauce because now it's going to be not necessarily thicker. It gives me more to work with. I don't know. Fill in the blank here. But once I get all that in, and you'll notice that it's stopped boiling for a second, I got to get it back up to a boil. And you can always reuse containers for like putting your silverware in if you don't have plates, because like the best thing to use would be like a plate or a little tray, but if you don't have that, you have the container, and if not, just put it on the counter and clean it up later. I don't really care. You'll figure it out. Check out the potatoes. Yeah, in there. If you want them smaller, that's on you. I like to have the things because as you mix it in, they might break apart, and you don't want like potato stew. So anyways, I'm going to throw a little more heat on that so it looks like it's coming up that far out, or you can check it. Boom. And then I could put a lid on it. Yeah, let's put a lid on it. As you can tell, I don't have the right lid for it, but this lid fits well enough, and it doesn't have a handle to pull it off. It's going to get really hot and really hard to pick up, but we'll get to that later. There it is for now. We're going to slide over to the mains. So now that I've got all this thing, and I'm going to bring it up to the boil, I got the potatoes rocking. And you can do salad sides with this. You know, I don't know. I went over the whole rice thing. It's really whatever you want. I don't know how long we've been spending time together, but I can tell you it doesn't feel that long. It feels like we got that chopped up, thrown up, and heated up. And once it starts simmering, I think we'll be in business. So for now, I think I'm going to do a little cleanup. If you're excited about watching me do some cleanup, yeah, you're going to love this part. All right. So we're talking about this time where we got to clean up our messes. Boom. Here we go. This trash here, done. Knife. My sensei was talking about knives, and I'll take an opportunity to talk with you about knife maintenance. I try not to get upset about very many things, but coming from a martial arts master, someone who was trained by people who relied on their weapons to be the tools that they are, they need to remain cutting. After you use them, you don't leave them wet inside the sink so that, you know, you don't do it. I don't need to explain anything past that. You don't do it. You clean the thing off, and then you dry it off. And if you don't do any cleaning at all, except for cleaning your knife that you cut that chicken with, you will be okay in my book with knives. All right. Now that we've gotten as far as the dishes, Just wanted to remind you that not everybody has a dishwasher. In fact, I have a dishwasher, but it's full of dishes, and I'm not going to spend time unloading my dishwasher just so you all can see how I load a dishwasher, which brings me to a whole other topic I want to talk about, which is loading dishwashers is arbitrary. Unless the manufacturer tells you how to load it, you can load it however you want. Some might be more efficient than others, but if there's nobody around to tell you that you're doing it wrong, guess what? You'll never know. You might even live to be a happier person, I'm not sure. But I'm going to go ahead and clean up my workspace here, and then I'm going to try to get ready to wash some dishes. There's this one time when I didn't have to do dishes, but I was volunteered to do dishes for like 3 months for myself plus the other 5 members of my family because the dishwasher broke down. And I always ended up pulling the dinner dishes, and that's not awesome because dinner dishes is like everybody. And so like the morning person, they just had the morning dishes to do, but sometimes the afternoon person would slack off. And when there's like 3 kids plus you, sometimes you have to do the afternoon dishes plus the other dishes, and it's not awesome. Anyways, that's all I have to say about that. We're probably about halfway to getting that stuff simmered, and I just want to show you. I got a little bowl of water with this thing here, the sponge thing, and I'm going to go through and wash everything, and then I'm going to rinse it off. And if you grew up in any type of water conservation period, you'd understand why I'm doing it. If not, I'll explain now. Back in the day, they were talking about this drought because I'm from California and how we don't have a whole bunch of water, even though there's like gallons of it just off the coast that apparently we can't desalinize. Anyways, long story short, they're talking about using water and like recycling it and trying not to just like let it run when you're brushing your teeth or washing things. And a lot of people took it to heart and they started trying to apply that to their life, and other people didn't. And then other people who were doing it got mad at the people who weren't doing it, and then they complained. And then other people who didn't care had to get involved. And now the people that were complaining that it didn't matter. I mean, it does matter. It's all about our individual efforts towards communal goals. We'll get into that later. Anyways, then there's the whole spark of the lawns dying, the artificial grass. And I mean, what is artificial grass? It's like, is it plastic? Do dogs even like pooping on it? I know it's messing up the ankles of our athletes. It's a whole other topic. Anyways, this coffee cup has a message for all of you, and I'm going to sit right there for a minute. Well, we gotta take a moment and enjoy the things that we have. I love washing dishes. In fact, when I'm washing dishes, sometimes I get a little worked up. I look out the window and I think that everything out there is okay. It doesn't really matter that I'm washing dishes or not. Everything's going to carry on, regardless of whether these dishes get washed or not. In fact, the less I care about how I feel about washing dishes, I think the better off I'll be. Of course, I think the planet and the universe will be just fine without me. Anyways, there's a talk later that I want to do. I'm not going to get into it now, but I am really excited about talking with you about it. We will get to that little piece of history in a minute, but for right now, it looks like that's starting to simmer a little bit, so I'm going to take this opportunity to rinse these dishes off. And then we're going to stir that mix and turn it down for 20 minutes. And I promise you I won't talk to you until it's all done. And of course, I'll probably talk to you after it's all done because that'll be the end of this video. And I feel like I've shared enough time with you. I've disabled the comments below. So if you have any recommendations of anything you'd like to see me make, you'll have to figure out how to do that on your own. There's many ways to get a hold of me, but if you don't have any of them, this is my YouTube channel, and I'm sure there's other avenues. Please don't send me anything. I'm just going to make whatever I want in the long run. Unless you send it to me, and then in which case I'll totally make it for you. But I mean, like, I'm going to make it and then need it myself, and not, like, unless you were there. I don't know what kind of fan page this is going to turn into. Okay, just about washed up. Rinsed off all these dishes. And now that I'm blocking the views of all the awesomeness that will ensue, it's time to move back to that Vindaloo, which seems to be cooking at a mildly boiling rate and will not burn nor hesitate. All right, I'll come down. Oh,
Nice love transition.
Oh no! Somebody has gaffeled my tool of awesomeness. This is the tool of awesomeness. It's an Allen key. Allen keys have many uses. I'm going to show you an off-label use now. What? Bam. So now that you've seen the secrets, you know how things are. Where's my spoon? Oh yeah. All right. Take this opportunity. Since I already washed my thing, I need a plate, so I'm going to put my plate down so things don't get out of control. I'm going to stir this up. Now, normally this would be where you put like a bay leaf in or something like that and then let it simmer for 30 minutes. You can set a timer. Since your potatoes are already cooked, you don't have to worry about them, cooking. If you want them more al dente, you can cook less, and al dente just means like, I don't know, stiffer. You'll figure it out. So anyways, I'm going to put this back on, and I'm going to set my own timer. Now that it's simmering, I'll turn it down half that. Set a timer for 20 minutes. And if you want to set a timer for 15 minutes or 30 minutes, it really doesn't matter. At this point, it's about ready to eat. But the longer it sits there, it's just kind of going to work the